to our channel. It's Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab. I am so glad to have you back visiting and seeing what we are up to. So in today's video, I'm bringing you a thrift haul and a thrift haul makeover. I had a previous thrift haul that I'm gonna throw some of those items that I'm going to make over for you, and then I'm gonna share some new items here in a little bit of what I'm going to be making over. Now, if you're new to our channel, I make items over. I share with you the process of what I do to these items to get them ready to resell. And I have a couple, me and my husband Chris have a couple retail booths at a local antique mall. So let's get into this haul. So first, right off, I visit Goodwill, Salvation Army, and then we have a community thrift. Now it's winter here in Michigan, so all depending on the day is how often I travel out. So yes, we have snow now, so let me get right started. So my favorite find of the day, let's start off with my favorite find. Why not? Because it's nothing I'm going to make over, and it's something that I have been looking for my own decor. And I know you're probably like, what the heck? So it's shoe stretchers. So this was at my community thrift just outside of my town. They tag theirs with a sticker. So I think they were $2.99, but I absolutely love them. And what caught my eye is the age of them. But look at, guys, they say red something, of course, so that's definitely me. So red, I don't know if it was red heel, I think, or red head. I don't know if you know this brand, let me know, but I have definitely wanted an old pair for my own decor. Yeah, so perfect with the wording on there. I know it would have been weird to call it a redhead chick rehab. So Ginger Chick just worked out better. So for $2.09, I found this Starbucks cup. Now I do a lot of mug trees, be it wood that I repaint or be it metal ones that I don't really have to do anything to, but I definitely like to stage them with cups on it. So I'll double my price, and if somebody buys them, I just like to have that Starbucks mug. That some people do collect these, so I do actually sell them. I found, oh my gosh, look at black enamelware. So this is a set. This is $6.09 from Goodwill, and I don't have to do anything to these pieces. So I have 4 cups, and then look at 4 bowls. Oh my goodness. So they are in great shape, black enamelware. So yes, definitely love that. I thought that was a pretty good price. Now that's something I will resell. And then they had another set for $4.09. Now these are a little bit more vintage looking ones, but I definitely, $4.09. And I thought one of them had, a stamped china on the, so they're not too old. I thought one of them had a little bit of wear on it. You know, when they get damaged or dropped, they rust really quick, but there it goes. I knew there was one that had a little bit of damage on it. But yeah, I'm super excited to find black. If you've not been to our channel and checking us out for the first time, I love black and white. So, okay. So next up was pottery. So for $3.09, I kind of cheated you all because somebody must have turned in a whole bunch of pottery at our local Goodwill, and I actually already put it in the booth without even showing you. But it was mugs. I had a shelf that was bare, and so when I had all these mugs and all these original pottery pieces, pottery, bowls, vases, the beer mugs, I'm gonna call them, definitely sell really well. So they've already sold. I didn't even get a chance to put them in, and they sold. So I knew, you just do that sometimes. You're like, if you know it's gonna sell, you're gonna put it right in there. So for $3.09, yep, I'm gonna pick up pottery. I showed in my last thrift haul a little cat that was made out of pottery. Maybe it was the same person, I'm not sure, and that sold. So pottery for me sells really well. And then I think this was $2.09. I don't know, I couldn't help it. It was cute. It was a little pot. I probably won't do anything to it but clean it up. I can see sticking a plant, sticking a candle, make it hot, I'm not sure, but it was little, so I couldn't help myself. This one was $1.99 from the Salvation Army. Now it's just a little clip, and I like the color. So I just would resell this. I won't do anything to this. Just a place to clip a little note, a little recipe, a little picture, just a nice little shelf sitter. Now this one is one of those type of picture trees. Now definitely for $1.99 from the Salvation Army, I'm going to straighten these out, and I'm definitely going to make this over in this video and just give it my Ginger Chick touch. And then for $2.09, I couldn't help it. It was a cute little black birdie, and I like him just as is. I maybe put some white wax on him would be really cute, because that would just pop all those details out. Then we have for $1.29, which is a weird price now that every price is always adjusted. Now I believe this little swan is goose, whichever, is made out of stone, has been carved from stone. So it's heavy. So I will just resell this as is also. Now for $3.09, I picked up just a plain white butter dish. I don't pass these up. I usually resell butter dishes between $10 and $12, depending on what I pay for them. And then just the plain white butter dishes sell. So the only ones I have right now, I have a few that I picked up and I showed in my last haul from the Dollar General store. So yeah, I definitely wanted to pick up some more. Now this is Threshold, which I think is a Target brand. And now we just have a few more items to go. Now at the Community Thrift for $1.99, would you pass this up? Oh my gosh, look at that. It's just a little towel with fish on it. I'm not sure what kind of fish, anybody know? But for $1.49, I definitely will just wash this up, iron it, and see if anybody would like to purchase it. It's in great shape. So definitely love when we resell ladders or I have bowls or anything, it's nice to have this type of stuff laying over them in your booth. Now this was interesting. I haven't opened it up. It was at $2.99 price again at the Community Thrift. Now it's grain sack, so I think it's a tablecloth, but I haven't opened it up yet to see what it is. I probably should have Google screenshot it to find out, but yeah, so cute. And when I stage pieces of furniture, if I put anything on top of my pieces of furniture, I like to have some kind of tablecloth or a runner or even a placemat to protect, because sometimes people aren't as nice to your furniture and love it as much as you do, and it gets scratched up. So I make sure I always have something on top of my furniture that I'm not reselling, like a tablecloth or sometimes people think they're for sale with it, but it's just something to protect my tabletop. Now I passed these up and then I went back because it is the 3 letters. Oops, I got a rubber band on there. So these are the 3 letters that make the eat. I'm not in the right order, I know that. But the yellow tag at the Community Thrift is 99 cents. And we know how much letters are. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna make a sign up. People, I do resell for kitchens the word eat. So for 99 cents, I'm like, I better grab those because I definitely know I can make something. And then the same with this little star. This was 99 cents. So it's like buying it at the Dollar Tree store. So definitely that's one of my things. I love stars and I usually have something with a star in my booth. And then my last piece before the makeover is this. This is paper that's been cut out into a flower. This is music sheets. This was $2.99 at Salvation Army, and this isn't my first time. All I do with this is paint this frame black, and I put like a $12 price tag on it. It's very simple flip, black seal, and then you're good to go. Let's get into the makeover, guys. Wait, I forgot about this duck. This is a cast iron duck. It was $6.09. When I Google Lensed it, which will take you to a search if you have an iPhone, Google Lens it, it brought me up to a whole bunch of decoys. So I think it was reading it as a decoy, but it is a solid iron, heavy metal piece. What I think it is a shoe scraper. But I can definitely see just painting this up black and sealing that in and having it as a piece of shelf decor, not a boot scraper. I guess people could use it as a boot scraper or a shoe scraper, but I definitely myself would use it as a shelf sitter. So let's start right off with this easy one. I don't feel the need to have to paint this little birdie at all, especially at the $209 price tag, but I am just going to use some of the Waverly white wax and apply it on. And what that's going to do, it's going to get into all those little crevices of all those little details and just makes them pop. And after I get it applied on, I'm just going to take a piece of paper towel and start wiping it off. And so what it's going to do is going to wipe off that excess, but it's going to leave all those detail areas popping with that wax. Now next up is just this plain star, and I decided I'm not going to add it to anything. I'm just going to go ahead and paint it up. But first of all, I've got to remove the hanging system that was on it and a few of these tags. To make it look a little bit more wood-like and pop that, I'm just going to go in with some Waverly antiquing wax. And I'm just going to go ahead and wipe off some of the excess. This was really dry wood, so it really soaked it in. That's just going to tone that down just a wee bit. And then this star has these nice rounded edges that I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take a little bit of the Waverly ink chalk paint and just one of the stencil brushes from the Dollar Tree store and just touch those edges and let it fade in. That'll just accentuate this star just a little bit more. Add a little bit more interest, I'm just going to use my IC pair of stamps by Redesign and just picked out one that fit the star, and I'm just going to be stamping it on. And to finish it up, I'm just doing a little bit of polycrylic spray. Next up is this mallard, and I know some people are probably sad that I'm painting over him, but it is what goes in my booth and is what people are looking for, and I definitely love that it was wrought iron. But to make this more of a shelf sitter and not something that you use to scrape off your boots, if that's what you want to do, I'm just going in with some Rust-Oleum flat black spray paint to get this all sprayed up after I got it cleaned. After getting it all spray painted up black, I'm going to seal that black spray paint in with some polycrylic. The other little birdie turned out so super cute. I can't help myself, but after that polycrylic dried, I'm going in with some of this white wax because this has all those details in the feathers too. This next piece is from my previous thrift haul, and this was a resin star. So I'm going to treat it just like resin like I do metal, and I'm going to spray paint it up using the Rust-Oleum paint and primer in one. Yes, I am very repetitive and a much creature of habit. And after I get that spray painted, I always seal it in with some type of clear coat, and today I'm using polycrylic. Definitely loving on that white wax at the moment, and this has that double star, has those crevices, and it has a whole bunch of little dimples on the star itself, so I thought this was a perfect opportunity to use some more of this white wax. I know this original purpose of this was probably to be a candle holder for a centerpiece or a shelf sitter, but I wanted to add a little bit of a hanging system. Now this is hollow resin, so all I did was make sure that I pre-drilled my hole. I'm using one of the eyelet holders hanger systems that I get off of Amazon. So yep, I just drilled that hole in until I hit the hole. I hit where it was hollow, and then I'm just making sure that my drill bit was a little bit smaller than my screw, so when I went to put my screw in, that it had something to bite onto. And actually I ended up changing out the screw that came with this head hanging system to have something with a little bit more girth to it. And then I put a little bit of my CA Star Bond glue underneath the metal to make sure that this was good and on there and wasn't going to come off. This is another very simple. All I'm going to be doing is removing the price tag, cleaning the frame itself, and then I'm just going to be taping off that glass to protect the glass so that I don't get any paint on it. I might probably get a little bit of paint on it, but that way I don't have so much to clean off at the end. A lot of these flips, I'm going to be using my Graco TrueCoat sprayer. It just helps me get the job done. So now when I'm doing these groupings like this, there's always multiple projects that I'm doing. That's why I have my sprayer out. Actually, if I have my sprayer tipped just right, I have done enough spraying now that I don't even have to tape off the bottom. The bottom is protected. So I'm just sealing that paint in now with some polycrylic. Now the black paint is nice and that's really going to accentuate that flower, but isn't it just a little bit more if I make some of that wood underneath pop? So I'm just going in with some 220 sandpaper on all the edges and getting back down to that wood that it was. So now I want to be able to add some antiquing wax, so I need to open up that polycrylic so it is able to accept the wax. So just a little bit of a fine grit steel wool, shiny off will do the job. Next up is the 3 letters that spell out eat. So it has a little bit of wear on it. It has some uneven texture from the previous spray paint. So I'm going to go ahead and take some 220 sandpaper and smooth out this original paint job. After getting all 3 of them nice and smooth, I'm just going to go in with that same black onyx using my sprayer to get them sprayed up with a fresh coat. Guess what my next step was after they were dry? To spray some polycrylic on it to protect that paint. Going through our stash of wood, I decided that I had this piece laying around for way too long. It's had a couple different items on it. It's never really sold. So Chris is going to go ahead and cut it down to fit these 3 letters. This wood is old and brittle and not very thick, so my game plan is to glue these letters on and then just put some weights on them to let them sit and just let overnight and make sure that they're good and on there. So just some tight bond glue. That is a good wood to wood, but these letters are actually resin, and I'm going to be using some of the Star Bond CA glue. That's going to give it that quick hold. Do need to add a hanger system to this, so going in the inside there again, if I put them on the back of it, it would pull it out against the wall, and then not enough, it's way too deep to put it on the very flat surface. So yep, just sticking it on the sides is what's going to happen, and then adding some wire in case somebody wants to hang this, or they might just want to sit it on the shelf. Either way, they have the option. Now next up, I don't think that I showed this in either one of the hauls, but here it was in my pile. So I'm going to go ahead and get this 3 vase container sprayed up. Then along with this picture tree, I never really am sure what to call these, I'm going to get the tags removed. I'm going to get this cleaned up and give this a fresh paint job. I'm going to actually be doing similar techniques on these little pieces. I like these wires the color that they are, so I'm going to go ahead and use some masking tape to protect them. Just when you thought you had me figured out, I'm going to throw in a different technique in here. So sometimes it's just fun, especially on small items. I definitely liked where they were going with the original paint job. So I'm going to go ahead and with some, I just have a photo candle from the Dollar Tree store using that wax technique. And then now I'm going to go in with this agave chalk paint by Waverly, just this light teal greenish color. But I'm going to give it a middle coat. That way when I go to distress the piece, we're going to see some of this beautiful bluish green. After that is dry, I'm going to go ahead and take that candle wax again and rub it on. That's going to be where I'm going to be able to see that green color. In my paint sprayer, I have Kills Paint and Primer, so you don't necessarily always have to have fancy paints to do these types of flips, but yep, I'm getting the whole surface area covered up with white. So I'm going to go ahead and add the swans into this because I think I'm going to do a similar technique to these swans. So I'm going to go ahead and move all the little bling that they had on, and then they were stapled on, so I'm going to have to go ahead and fill in those holes. Along with it, we had that very glittery, there's a lot of glitter that was sprayed on the front of these, so I'm going to have to go ahead and sand that off also. So I decided that I wanted to do the candle wax on these too, but I did not want to add the green color. That's really stepping outside the Ginger Chick box to add the green color, so little baby steps here. So I'm just taking it on any of these sharp edges of this candle or this vase holder along with those swans. Then my white paint is dry, I can just take my sandpaper and wherever the candle wax was, it'll easily come off. Now I find the candle wax a little less messy than the Vaseline technique, so I definitely prefer the candle wax. But I don't know if I've ever done this on my channel for you all, or maybe early on, but definitely gives you that random distress look. Now after sanding all the pieces that I did with the candle wax, I'm going to go ahead and finishing them up, making sure that they're good and cleaned off with some Varathane clear wax. So, and to finish these three faces up, sometimes I leave them as is and just try to resell them as is, and they do sell, but I couldn't help myself when I was in Walmart the other day. They have some new lavender, guys. Have you seen it at your Walmarts yet? Absolutely love that they added these open flowers to it. Now, I had to reset myself if you're wondering why. I'm at a different stage because I didn't have any more of my crinkled up brown paper, so I had to go to the dollar store to get some more. But I love this stuff. This is definitely a great, inexpensive way to hide those stems when putting them in a clear vase. So I'm just going to take my wire nips and cut some of these stems off the big stem and to see how many I need for each one of these little containers. And just a little bit of jute string around the top of the vases. That will definitely tie in with that brown paper. So thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed my thrift haul and my thrift haul makeovers. So this was a little bit different I did a lot more, so I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you enjoyed this kind of content and if I have inspired you in any way to look at thrift store finds in a new way. So give me a comment and a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. And if you're new and you're checking out our channel for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when we've uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.